We got Steve Lynch. How's the career going these days? I see you got some lynchlicks.com and websites like that going on.
Yes, exactly. That's a teaching website, lynchlicks.com, and then I also have some new videos at www.youtube.com /lynchlicks, and you can check out a lot of the newer stuff as well as some of the older solos. Music school going here in Seattle, so keeping pretty busy with that.
So how's the ways of the students today compared to let's say a few years back? Is everything still the same? Would you say in guitar world?
Well, I'd say I have a few less students than I did back then, but it's the interesting thing about it is that the caliber of guitar players is starting to get better again, as opposed to the way it was, excuse me, back in the 80s, or back in the 90s, I should say.
Right.
And now, it's over the last few years, the caliber of guitar players has actually gotten quite a bit better.
Would you say this trend's going to continue with the young ones of today?
Yes, I think so. I hope so, because a lot of them seem to be more into the technical stuff and being into playing more solos than they were like 10 years ago. 10 years ago, hardly anybody wanted to learn how to play solos, so now they're showing a lot more interest in that and getting into a lot more of my more technical things as well.
Also, let's say, do you do seminars and stuff? Do you tour at all, doing anything like that nowadays?
I haven't been lately, but I have been talking to some people about possibly doing some in India, Indonesia, and Japan. But, kind of depends on the scheduling because I'm so busy with the school right now and recording at home and everything. So that's kind of a priority, is keeping the school running and also, getting some recording done at home.
Would you say that, to play in those countries, of course, autograph would come into the picture, with the fame of autograph, would you say?
No, this would just be for clinics. I've also been talking about possibly doing an autograph reunion tour next summer. I'm not sure if we can get everybody together for that or not, but that's always a possibility.
Would it be a new album in the lineup also?
I'm not sure if we would have time to do that. That would be nice, but that's not a certainty. You never know. Something like that could happen.
At least we get the good classics still going.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That would be fine.
So let's say when you take an amplifier today and you look at the amp simulations, what you can buy today, what do you think of that in your way of looking at things like that? Amp simulations, let's say.
I really like playing out of the Guitar Rig 4. That's something, as far as it's always great to have a tube amp, on stage with you. There's nothing that can really replace that warmth of a tube amp going through some, good, like 25, 35 watt Celestions. But I really, as far as recording at home, I much prefer the Guitar Rig 4 because I can manipulate that to sound on, digitally anyway. On the recording just as well as I can in any amplifier. So I really like that a lot.
Would you say, let's say, like when you look at, let's say, the Boss pedals today, the rack units mostly, they're getting better and better, and they're starting to act more like the tube amps.
Yes, they are, absolutely. They're getting closer, but still there's just that warmth of the tube amps. That's really hard to replace.
So in all that, it means that a young guitar player can go to the store and buy, that JCM 800 inside of a little pedal almost.
Basically, yes. You can get really close to the same sound. I would say getting, even the way I would play live nowadays is I would probably use a Guitar Rig 4 through a tube power amp, through a couple of tube power amps, stereo. Through a couple cabs. That's the way I would play nowadays because the switching system would be so easy. Because they have the foot switching system for the Guitar Rig, I would probably just use that, in a computer. I've been seeing a couple of bands that have been playing out of laptops, and it sounds really cool. I mean, of course they're still playing through amplifiers and everything, but their software is in laptops, which is quite amazing to me. I thought I'd never see that day, but I'm starting to see more and more of it now.
Because today when you go and buy those rigs, you get like, let's say, Jimi Hendrix presets, or you get all that stuff that, it would cost you a fortune to buy in
Well,
real.
that's just it. Is with the software that you can buy, you can have any combinations of amplifiers, you can have any combinations of microphone, combinations of speakers, any combination of microphone placement, any combination of effects, and you can just keep on combining every one of them whichever way you want. To buy all this outboard gear, it'd literally be tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you can get it now for like under $500.
Now, another thing is, Steve, do you record any projects also these days? Anything coming out?
What I'm doing is I'm just recording some new material myself.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not recording any other projects other than myself, though.
So this would be like a Steve Lynch album?
Yes, it would be a solo album, exactly, yeah.
And when's this work going to be done?
Probably next spring, I would imagine, because it's tough for me to record because I got so many different things going on, as far as the school and everything like that. So, but it's getting there. It'll, like I said, it'll just take a little bit more time.
Now, I imagine this is all done in your home studio, I take it?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's all done right here.
And when you get all that, it's as easy than going to the real studio, when you say.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a bit of work doing everything on your own. That takes a little bit longer. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have, a drummer come in. I'll probably have Chris Frazier come in. He did work on my last solo album. He was the drummer that came in, and he had also played with Steve Vai before, and so great drummer, really good drummer. I think he's been doing a lot of gigs with Whitesnake as of lately.
So, Steve, lynchlicks.com, would you say you put plenty of time in this? How much hours you put into a day, when making the site work and all that?
Okay, so as far as going into the Lynch Licks site,
right,
making that site, the first day we went in and I recorded 100 different videos for the guitar licks and explained after each one, how to play them and everything. And we did that all in one day. What I was doing was I was actually playing over what was already recorded, but I was laying down another track on top of those live. So there's actually the two lead recorded tracks, so then a third tripled guitar on top of that. So there's three lead guitars playing the same thing. I did that with all of the guitar solos, which I recorded on the second day. So the first day was all the guitar licks, which was 100 licks, and then the second day we did 18 guitar solos, and like I said, I recorded with the recordings, the original recordings, and a lot of that was from some later autograph stuff, which was released in '97, album called Missing Pieces, and then some from my solo album called Network 23, and all that stuff, all of my books and the old instructional video that I had, plus the 4 autograph albums and my solo album can be all found on my teaching site also, that www.lynchlicks.com. And what I did was I remastered all of the albums as well. So it sounds much better than it did back with the original recordings.
And also for the Lynch Licks, I mean, with the video work that's being done, it's a lot of work, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is. That was well, like I said, I recorded everything just in a weekend. I went in Saturday and I did 100 guitar licks, which took 11 hours. And then the second day went in and did the 18 guitar solos, which took 8 hours. And then, but the editing took that was quite a few weeks. And then eventually, what I did was, then we put the site together after we had all of that together, and that took about 8 months to put the site itself together, because there is a lot of information on there. I mean, 100 guitar videos plus 18 guitar solo videos, and then putting up all the foundation for the pricing and everything. That took a long time to do, but we priced it very low so that we could afford it, because we know that there's economic times now and people there's a lot free, but we made it very low costing for people to go in and be able to learn a lot about the two-handed technique and different techniques that I use in my playing. So it's very easy to use. So you get to see me actually play it up to speed, and then I break it down, and then I tell you exactly how I'm doing it, part by part. And then what I do is I also did up all the tab for it, so you can also download the tablature to it too, to look at that.
So you did the tab all yourself?
Basically, yes, I did everything myself with the cameraman, the engineer in the studio, and then he did a lot of the editing, but I helped him do a lot of the editing as well. And
that is incredible. Steve, been a pleasure talking to you about all this stuff, and hopefully the people go and check out lynchlicks.com.
That sounds great. Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot.
All right, no problem. Keep in touch, okay?
Okay, you got it. Okay.